Dealers are moving budget outboards under $5,000 faster than almost any other product on the marine floor right now. Walk into any coastal marine retailer in 2026 and you will find at least 3 or 4 brands you have never heard of sitting next to Mercury and Yamaha at less than half the price. The pitch is always the same horsepower, same fuel type, same basic 4-stroke design. Looks identical on paper. Why pay double? What dealers will not walk you through is what is actually inside these motors, how they are built, what materials were used, what fails first in saltwater, and why the difference between an $800 engine and a $3,500 engine in this bracket has nothing to do with the spec sheet and everything to do with what you cannot see when you are standing at the register. The key thing to understand is this: the budget outboard market has completely transformed over the last decade. 4-stroke technology now accounts for over 60% of new outboard sales globally, according to National Marine Manufacturers Association market data. Environmental Protection Agency emission standards have effectively phased the 2-stroke out of most new production under 40 horsepower sold in North America. That regulatory shift forced every manufacturer in this category to develop or license 4-stroke powerhead designs. Some of them engineered those designs from the ground up with decades of marine manufacturing experience behind them. Others copied the layout, reduced material costs, and built something that looks identical from the outside and reveals itself from the inside. The dealers selling both products on the same floor are not going to explain which is which. What they will tell you is that the spec sheets are similar, and the warranty covers you for the first year or 2. What they will not tell you is what happens in year 3 in saltwater. So here is what is actually inside 5 of the most popular budget outboards under $5,000 on the market right now. Engine 1. Parsun F-15 4-stroke. Parsun is one of the largest outboard exporters in China and the most commonly encountered budget engine in this horsepower range in North American coastal markets. A new Parsun F-15 retails for roughly $1,800 to $2,200 in 2026, making it the most aggressively priced engine in this comparison. Parsun is a US branded product manufactured in China. Its own FAQ documentation confirms that in saltwater operation, zinc anodes must be checked and cleaned every 50 hours or every 3 months, and replaced on an ongoing cycle. That is not an unusual requirement for any marine engine in saltwater, but it matters here because the Parsun has a documented history of lower unit corrosion in saltwater settings when that maintenance schedule is not followed. A YBW forum member who owned a Parsun 9.9 for 11 years described the corrosion as the worst issue with the engine, noting it occurred despite the motor being out of the water 7 to 8 months of the year. A British chandlery that stocked Parsun reported giving up the agency because they were overwhelmed with warranty claims. Independent reviewers consistently rate Parsun as adequate for protected freshwater use at moderate hours, and not recommended for regular saltwater operation or offshore use. Parts availability in the US remains the other serious concern. Parsun does not have a developed domestic dealer service network comparable to Japanese brands. If a component fails outside warranty, sourcing parts domestically is not always straightforward. For calm freshwater use on a john boat or small tender, the Parsun is survivable. For anything that touches saltwater regularly or operates far from shore, the documented track record does not support the risk at any price point. Engine 2. Hidea HF15 4-stroke. Hidea is manufactured in China and sold across Europe, Australia, and increasingly in North American coastal markets as a low-cost alternative to Japanese brands. The HF15 sits in roughly the same price range as the Parsun, between $1,900 and $2,300, across multiple owner forums including iBoat's Boating Forum, World Sea Fishing Forums, and Boat Repair Forum. The documented pattern with Hidea motors in real-world use is consistent. They run adequately at delivery. By year 2 and year 3, reliability problems begin accumulating in the form of electrical faults, corrosion on exposed components, and lower unit gear oil contamination from seal deterioration. A Nashville resort that purchased several 25-horsepower Hidea motors for rental use reported having to cannibalize multiple engines for parts, as units failed and did not hold up under regular use. The fundamental issue, acknowledged even by some dealers who stock them, is that the gap between Japanese-engineered construction tolerances and Chinese budget production tolerances shows up in long-term saltwater applications. In freshwater, on limited hours, the motor functions. In saltwater with regular exposure, it requires a maintenance discipline and a tolerance for component replacement that most buyers at this price point are not expecting when they write the check. What makes Hidea particularly challenging from a buyer's perspective is that the failures are not immediate. The motor looks and runs fine at delivery. The problems present themselves slowly, as repair bills in year 2 or 3, well outside any warranty window. Other channels will not dive this deep into breakdowns, so feel free to subscribe if this helps. Engine 3. Tohatsu MFS-15 4-stroke. This is where the budget outboard conversation changes completely. Tohatsu has been building outboards since 1956 and is Japan's oldest outboard manufacturer. Most buyers have never heard of them because their entire business model is built on manufacturing for other brands without branding recognition in retail settings. In 1988, Tohatsu Corporation and Brunswick Corporation formed a joint venture called Tohatsu Marine Corporation. That partnership produces small outboard motors sold under the Mercury name. According to a Mercury Marine spokesperson quoted by Boats.com, motors smaller than 20 horsepower are generally designed by Tohatsu, and larger models are a collaboration between the two companies. The entire Nissan Marine product line sold in North America was rebadged Tohatsu. Evinrude sourced small 4-strokes from Tohatsu until they discontinued production. The power head inside the Tohatsu MFS-15 is the same core design that powers Mercury 4-stroke portables in the same displacement class. Those engines are built at the same Tohatsu Marine Corporation factory in Komagane, Japan. The quality difference from Chinese-produced engines is verifiable at the manufacturing level. Tohatsu Marine now produces between 170,000 and 180,000 units annually at that facility, exporting to over 200 countries. The MFS line carries a 2-year warranty through an authorized US dealer network that has been in place for decades. A new Tohatsu MFS-15 in the US retails for roughly $2,700 to $3,200. That $500 to $1,000 premium over Chinese alternatives is not a brand tax. It is Japanese engineered manufacturing, a developed North American parts and service network, and a reliability record built across decades of commercial and recreational saltwater use globally. Engine 4, Mercury F9.9 4-stroke. Mercury is the most recognized name in outboards and the most purchased budget 4-stroke at this horsepower range. A new Mercury F9.9 retails for approximately $2,800 to $3,200. Buyers pay for the Mercury badge and the dealer network built around Mercury's larger performance lineup. What they are actually receiving at the 9.9 and 15 horsepower range is a Tohatsu designed and Tohatsu manufactured powerhead inside a Mercury cowling, produced at the Tohatsu Marine Corporation facility in Japan. This is not speculation. It is confirmed by Mercury's own spokesperson, by TMC factory documentation, and by decades of forum-documented owner experience. Hull Truth Forum members who have owned both motors describe the powerhead casting and lower unit arrangement as identical. Mercury sets quality standards through their supply chain relationship with TMC, and those standards are enforced, which means the motor is reliable. The practical question for a buyer is whether the Mercury dealer network premium is worth several $100s over the Tohatsu branded equivalent with the same hardware underneath. For a buyer who prioritizes having a Mercury dealer within driving distance, the premium is defensible. For a buyer who understands the manufacturing relationship and is comfortable with independent marine service or a Tohatsu dealer, the same hardware is available at a lower price. Engine 5. Suzuki DF9.9 4-stroke. Suzuki Marine designs and builds its core outboard lineup without a joint venture partner for powerhead production. They do not rebadge another manufacturer's motor at this horsepower range. The DF9.9 is a Suzuki-designed and Suzuki-manufactured engine produced at Suzuki's own facilities. That distinction matters because it means every engineering decision on that motor is Suzuki's own, rather than an inherited design specification from a partnership arrangement. The DF9.9B electronic fuel injection variant is confirmed on Suzuki's global product page as the world's first 9.9 horsepower outboard, designed with both lean burn control and battery-less electronic fuel injection. Suzuki's lean burn system monitors engine load and operating conditions to deliver a leaner fuel mixture at cruising speeds. Independent product specifications confirm fuel savings of up to 20% compared to conventional carbureted engines in the same class. This system is available on 14 Suzuki models, from the DF9.9 up through the flagship DF300A. The anti-corrosion finish on the DF9.9 is applied directly to the aluminum surface for maximum bonding, as described in Suzuki's corrosion protection documentation. This treatment is specifically formulated for marine aluminum protection beyond standard anodizing. Suzuki outboards are consistently cited in commercial fishing and crabbing applications, where operators select engines based on multi-season reliability under daily use. Forum members who have direct experience with commercial watermen in their area confirm Suzuki as a preferred choice for crabbers and netters for this reason. A new Suzuki DF9.9 retails for approximately $2,900 to $3,900, depending on configuration, placing it at the upper edge of this comparison. The market right now is pushing buyers toward the cheapest option because pressure on every line item in a boat, build, or trailer rig is real. New boat sales are down, budgets are tighter, and the price gap between a Chinese budget engine and a Japanese engineered one looks significant at the point of sale. But the outboard is not the place to find savings. A failed lower unit seal on a budget engine in year 2 costs more to repair than the price gap between that engine and the Tohatsu sitting next to it. An electrical fault in saltwater on an engine with no domestic service network costs time, money, and sometimes safety. Tohatsu gives you Japanese engineered reliability at a price that beats the Mercury badge for the same hardware underneath. Suzuki gives you a motor designed and built by a single manufacturer to its own standards, with proven commercial use credentials and fuel efficiency technology not available on anything else in this price category. Everything else in this comparison is a gamble that looks reasonable on the day you buy it, holds together through the first season, and reveals itself slowly and expensively over the next 2 seasons in saltwater. The dealers selling these motors know the difference, now you do too.